Breakfast with Pure Coys. Oh yeah. Breakfast with Pure Coys. Breakfast with Pure Coys. Oh yeah. Breakfast with Pure Coys. Breakfast with Pure Coys.
Yes, good morning, guys. It is breakfast with Pure Coys. It is a Wednesday morning and it is absolutely teeming it down here in the West Country. Windy, rainy, winter is coming. That's for sure. I have my new Spurs shirt on. OK jersey. I think they should sponsor me as well. Get over there and get a shirt. A bit of an interesting one. Got told yesterday my deliveries arrived. Thought brilliant. Shirts have come. Got one for my son as well. And got home, nothing. So after lots of emails, it turns out that Royal Mail had delivered it somewhere else totally. So I had to look up every number 10 in my area and go to the house individually. I think there's about 23 10s in my area. I think I got to number 7 before I found the house. So yeah, good times. But I got them in the end and all good. Guys, how are you? How the devil are you? What are you up to today? It is Wednesday morning. It is pretty grim here, like I say. Let me know what it's like where you are. Um, and we will get into it, guys. Before we get into it, please please subscribe to the channel. Really would appreciate it. I am slowly growing, but enjoying every minute of it. Spurs were back in the Champions League last night, of course, with our opening game against Villarreal. Listen, it wasn't pretty, was it? It wasn't pretty, but we got the job done. We won the game. 3 points is 3 points. As I said on my thumbnail, a win's a win. Sometimes it doesn't matter how they come. And for me, I think this was the case last night. Obviously, after the game, I did a show with Dan and it was quite depressing. We were not happy with the performance, either of us. It was poor, but looking upon it the next morning, waking up with fresh head and fresh eyes, we've got to look at it and say, listen, 3 points is 3 points. We move on. It wasn't a good performance, but it is what it is. Just take a look at the team from last night. The Tottenham team, this was it. It was Vicario in goal, and it was Romero, Porro, Spence, and Van der Ven, with a midfield three of Sarr, Bentancur, and Bergvall. So a few surprises there. Disappointed that Polina didn't start, to be honest, but I understand resting players, keeping everyone as as fit and as ready as possible. And then the front three of Kudus, Simmons, and Richarlison. To be honest, I looked at the side. There wasn't anything glaringly obvious that I thought, oh no, we're in trouble here. I thought it was more than a good enough side to go out and beat Villarreal. As for Villarreal, their side was as follows: Junior, Cardona, Vega, Foyth, Marino, Perez, Gay, Comenesa, Buchanan, Mikatatsu, and Pepe. I actually thought Villarreal played pretty well. I thought they did exactly what they needed to do. They sat back a bit first half. Let us come on to them. Obviously, we got the goal, which, listen, hey, a goal's a goal, right? We take any goal. It was ugly. It wasn't pretty to watch. It was a bit embarrassing. Felt like, yeah, I thought the keeper actually did really well to recover from that. But we'll get into it because I don't think we tested the keeper nearly enough. But we got the goal. But I actually thought the Villarreal had the two best chances in the first half and second half. For whatever reason, guys, we didn't turn up, did we? We didn't turn up. It was, yeah, it was different. It was different. That's what I'm going to say. Let's say hello to the chat. Quiet morning so far. Share us up. So morning, mate. I hope you're better. Yeah, I'm getting there, mate. I'm starting to feel a bit better now, which is nice. Thank you. And I will be redirecting you to the 2 Marks show straight after this. So, Sheriff, let me know. I know you set one up. Let me know if you're definitely on. Um, Hopefully you are. Huddle waddle, boring game, but solid performance. Not close to lose 3 points. I think that's where we got to look at it. Like I say, the morning after, disappointing performance, but a win's a win. 3 points in the bag. We move on. Sometimes we're not, we're not always going to play beautiful, attractive football. Audio's in. Big up audio saying good morning, Nige and chat. That's for me. We're not always going to play swashbuckling, great attacking football. Sometimes it's going to be nervy. You got to remember for a lot of these players, it's their first game in the Champions League, so there's probably not a lot of nerves about. And I think maybe we are caught in between a rock and a hard place in that game. We took the lead. We weren't great first half, but we weren't bad. Second half, I kind of feel it's almost like we didn't want to lose, and we were nervous with our passing, gave the ball away a lot. Players didn't want to take responsibility, and we let Villarreal back in the game. And let's not hide anything. Villarreal are a decent Spanish side. They're in the Champions League for a reason, because they're half decent. So listen, guys, it is what it is. Let me know in the chat how you're feeling about last night's game. Get involved, smash that like button, and show us then the 1 mark show, mate. It's a 1 mark. Yeah. I'm sure you'll be fine, mate. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, last night, disappointing performance, but we got the result, and that is what matters. Huddle Waddle saying positive performance from Bergval and VDV. Just a gut feeling. I think Kono Mwani will be a flop. I'd agree. I thought Van der Ven played well. I thought Bergval in patches did some good things. I actually thought Kudus played quite well, tried hard. Mwani, I think it's really hard to judge him on 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes that he got last night. I think it's quite hard to judge. We were at that time, we were just defending. And, I felt a bit sorry for him. He came on and balls were just being lumped up, and it was like, there you go, chase me, chase me. And so let's see how Mwani does when maybe we're in a different formation, different setup, maybe attacking, playing that free flowing football. Hopefully, we will be playing. I think it's a bit harsh to judge Moani on the one game. I'm not saying you are, Huddle, but yeah, I think he'll be fine. Whether he's going to score the goals, I don't know, but I think he will be fine. And Sheriff said, underwhelming, mate, after the build up. I agree. I think it was an underwhelming performance. But Spurs are like this in Europe, aren't they? This isn't the first time we've been excited for a European night at Tottenham, and the performance is a bit flat. We had it many times, in the Europa League, even when we had Kane and Son in their prime. We had times when we would turn up and not play. That year under Mourinho when we had Bell, Son, and Kane, and we still turned up places and played at home, and we might win the game, but it wasn't pretty to watch. So it is what it is. I think we won the game. We move on, and we go from now. Audio saying it was an ugly win. The key word is win. Absolutely. It is all about, this early in the season, this early in the Champions League, our first game. As much as we want a fantastic performance where we see everything work and players are clicking, sometimes it is just about getting that win. Getting that first win is so important to start with a win, because now we go to Bodo Glimt on our next game. If we can win that, what a start to the Champions League. And people won't be thinking about, oh, yeah, but we were really poor. I think there's two ways you can look at it, isn't there? Joe is saying we must do better. I hope Frank learns. Mm, definitely we need to do better. Definitely we need to do better. But I think we'll be okay. I do think we'll be okay. I think, like I say, first appearance for a lot of these players in the Champions League. And I think maybe the occasion got to them a little bit, especially second half. But we will see going forward. Let's see how we do in our next couple of games. I think it's quite nice. We got Bodo Glimt next. Listen, it won't be an easy game. Won't be an easy game at all. But the fact that we played them twice last season, maybe will take a bit of the nerves away. Let's see. Hopefully. Ed M's in, said good morning, Nigel and chat. Good morning to you, Ed M. I hope you are well. Standout performances, I would say, like I said, I thought Kudus did okay. I thought Van der Ven, brilliant as always. Listen, he was maybe a bit lucky not to get a red card later on in the game. I do think he was lucky there. Do think he was lucky in the touch by the Mikatatsu, I think, took it away from goal a little bit. Otherwise, I think he was walking a tightrope. I've got to say, guys, I don't know if you agree with me. It's been said that the Premier League referees are the worst referees in Europe. I've got to be honest, that referee last night was absolutely shocking. I don't know if you agree, maybe I'm being biased. I just think he wanted to give everything he could to um to Villarreal. Very rarely do we get free kicks. He was booking people for fun. Um, I got to say, Simmons' first booking for me, bit harsh. I can see why I give it, but a bit harsh. He should have gone second half. You know, as much as I'm a Spurs fan, that tackle in the second half, how he didn't get another yellow card, I will never know. I actually thought Richarlison's was a penalty. I thought the defender kicked right through him. Um, I think he bottled the big decisions. I really do. I think he was quick to give free kicks, quick to get his card out and book people. But actually, when it comes to the big decisions, I think he bottled it. I think Spurs could have easily had 9 men by the end, but I actually think we could have had a penalty as well in the first half, and it might have been a different game. So, for me, not great refereeing. Um, but it is what it is. I think yeah. When people say that the Premier League referees are the worst in Europe, I think that performance of last night from the referee shows that they're not. They're not at all. Cheryl saying, my man Johnson did nothing. He reaffirmed my statement that he is not a winger. No, he's not. He's not. He did. And again, it's one of them. You know, by the time these players come on, we were so entrenched on just not conceding. We didn't really have any outlet for me. Tottenham Rangers saying papering over the cracks. Possibly, mate. Big up to you. Possibly. David saying, hi from Leicester. Negotiations are happening in the Bahamas to sell Daniel Levy's 29.4% shares in Spurs. I didn't know that. That's interesting. And hopefully that will happen very soon. Tottenham Rangers saying, we are shit. We were poor last night. There's no doubt about it. Ed M said, never a penalty. It was Charlison who kicked the defender. I'm not sure he did, but okay, we can agree to disagree on that. I actually think Richarlison was clever and got his body in the way. There's no doubt the defender kicked through him. I get that Richarlison was clever in putting his leg there. Um, listen, I'm incredibly biased. I thought it could have easily been given, but there you go. There you go. Tottenham Rangers saying Frank needs to sort out some attack. We were poor in attack. We create nothing, and that's the concern, isn't it? That's the concern for me. Xavi Simmons needs to be in that 10. He is wasted out there as an 11. You know, he's our creative spark. And I got to be honest, guys. Let me know how you feel. Do you think Spence and Simmons work? I mean, listen, there's only been 2 games. Let's not be too harsh. But I just felt like they weren't on the same wavelength at all. Obviously, you saw against West Ham when we had a really good move and Xavi Simmons got it in around the penalty area just outside, and you thought shoot or do something, and he kind of played it to the left where he thought Spence was running. Spence was nowhere to be seen, and the move broke down. I think they've got a little bit to do before they get that understanding, and I'm starting to think maybe Udogie and Xavi Simmons could work better. But I don't know. We will see. We will see. David Clark saying Richarlison wouldn't get in my old Sunday morning side, and Kudus looked like he'd been on the piss all weekend. Yeah, I got to say, penalty apart, which we can all agree to disagree on, Richarlison was absolute crap again. He runs around a lot. He does very little else, and can't hold the ball up. Doesn't win duels. For me, poor Richarlison and Kudus. I thought Kudus did okay, but he did look very sluggish last night. Didn't look to have any pace. But I actually thought he was one of our better players. Maybe that says it all about our performance. Um, but yeah, Machina Joe, big up, mate. I hope you're well. Says Spurs should have got a penalty. Xavi should have got a second yellow. Second half was terrible from both teams. 3 points is the main thing. I agree 100%. I got to say, how Xavi didn't get that second yellow is beyond me. I thought he was walking. I think he thought he was walking. But he didn't. He stayed on. And I think that's probably maybe why Frank took him off. But yeah, the subs for me, I don't know what you think, guys. I thought from the first 5 minutes of the second half, you could see it wasn't working. I would have made the changes. I think Frank, for me, took a little bit too long to make changes. I think it was 68 minutes before the first change. I'd have been looking to, and I'm being picky, I would have been looking to change like 58, 60 minutes. Because I just, second half was woeful. And Tottenham Rangers saying, yeah, 100% he needs to be in the 10. I agree, definitely needs to be in the 10. He is wasted out on the left. I think if we're going to see the best out of Xavi Simons, he needs to be in that 10. I think we are absolutely wasting him out now. I think he'll do okay. I think we get some good performances out of him, probably get a couple of assists, maybe the odd goal. But I think if we want to see the best of Xavi Simons, we have to play him in that 10 role. Sheriff saying Spence was lazy. He looked tired. I think a few of them looked like that, didn't they? A few of them looked just not at the races. Like they didn't really want to know, which is a concern. But this is where Frank has to manage the squad. Like I say, maybe the whole build up, the whole rigmarole of the Champions League and the excitement of it maybe got to a few of the players. I don't know. David said Frank never got to grips with the fact that our number 10 was too far up the pitch when we had the ball at the back. We were outnumbered in midfield, and Frank never changed it. Quite possibly, and I think that's where, for me, that's where we needed that little bit of experience in the midfield. I know Benton calls experience, but he was more like the 6. And, you know, the Bergvall and the Sarr, they weren't, for me, there was a couple of times Romero played the ball out from the back, and don't get me wrong, they weren't great balls, but the midfield were nowhere. It's a real concern. The midfield is a real concern for me, but we got the win. We got the win. Huddle Waddle said, I would like to see Xavi as a 10, maybe play Odebel on the left with Polinia and Bergvall as centre midfields. The good thing is we have options now, don't we, right? We have options. We were not great today, but we do have options. Sorry, last night. Odebel, Frank clearly doesn't fancy him, does he? Clearly doesn't fancy him because he's just not getting any minutes. Even when Tao isn't now, he's just not being brought on. So I'm not sure about Odebel. I think he may be on his way out. I don't know, but the fact he's just getting nothing at the moment is a concern. I quite like the idea of Polini and Bergvall as the centre mids. I thought they did well against West Ham on Saturday, but we definitely need that creative spark in the middle of the park. I like Sarr. I do like him. I think he's had a great start to the season. Was poor last night, like most of them, but we miss that creative spark in that number 10 role. And for me, Xavi Simons needs to be in it Saturday. And we need to be putting somebody else on the left. And this is where we go back to the age-old problem of we didn't do it in the transfer window. We had our chance. We didn't quite do it. But it's what we got now till January. So let's see how it goes. Andrew Gregory's in the house. Big up, Andrew. He says, morning, Nige. Good morning to you, mate. I hope you're well. Dino Coy's chit chat. Big up, mate. I hope you're well. Saying we need a top striker. Maybe Kane back in January. Oh, that would be lovely, wouldn't it? That would be lovely. I can't see him coming in January, just simply because I think he'll want to win another trophy with Bayern Munich first, won't he? But definitely next summer. I think for me, and I don't know how you guys feel. Let me know in the chat. Talking about next summer's transfers. I want to see Richarlison and Solanke sold. I don't think either of them are good enough. Yes, I did say that that Solanke should hit 20 Premier League goals this season, but he's not played, so that's not going to happen. I think we need some top class strikers. So I think Richarlison, Solanke need to be sold. Mawani's not here anyway. As far as I'm aware, he's not got a buyout clause. So we're going to need 2 new strikers. Bring in Kane. Bring in someone who can understudy him, a talented younger striker who can learn off Kane a little bit, but not somebody who's come from like League One you know, a very good striker, but someone who's younger. Um, and that's what I'd do. Really go out and buy that and, you know, improve that attack. I think there's lots of areas we can improve. I'm still convinced we need a better keeper. As much as he's a great shot stopper, he's not a lot else. And yeah, still concerned by Vicario. David Clark says second half, I would have gone three at the back, bring on Polinia and play two up front. That's not a bad shout. That's not a bad shout because then you could have had Xavi in that 10, floating in that 10, and use your wing backs to get forward. Because Porro really is redundant, isn't he, in this position? He doesn't really do a lot because it's hard for him to get forward when we're playing this badly. And he's not the greatest defender. So, yeah, I thought Porro did okay last night. Did okay. Got caught out of position a few times, but Porro did okay. But that's not a bad shape. Going three at the back, bringing on Polinia, maybe bringing on Danzo as well. It's, yeah, good shape, mate. Good shape. Lord Rodney says, GM at 3 points collectors. Absolutely. That's what it's all about. Philly's in house. Big up Nigel in the chat this morning. Big up to you, Philly. I hope you're well, my friend. I hope you're well. And David Clark saying, Sarr had a stinker. He looked tired and gave the ball away 10 times. And I think that's what you get from Sarr, isn't it? I think he started the season well. And I think I said this last night on the show with Dan, is that I like Sarr further up the pitch, not because I think he's a great player in that number 10, but just when he's in that 6 or 8 role, he does give the ball away a lot. And when he's giving it away closer to goal, then we're in trouble. But yeah, Sarr was poor last night. He was. Sheriff saying big up to Philly. The Wolf, big up, mate. I hope you're well. Saying, let's face it, how bad was Richarlison? One worldie against Burnley does not make him in anywhere top striker. Dump him in January, please. Yeah, I'd dump him as well, mate, but I just can't see it happening. Next summer, though, for sure, he needs to be sold along with Solanke. Tottenham Ranger saying, if we don't play Xavi in the 10, we're not creating nothing. Absolutely bang on. Absolutely bang on. We've got no, I think last night said it all, we had no creativity whatsoever in that front area. I think we were expecting too much from Kudus. And again, you know, every time Kudus got the ball, there were 2 men on him. He found it really difficult to really create anything. Put a few good balls in, but again, we've got no one in the box. There was a moment in that second half when I think we had a bit of a break. Porro, I think it was Porro, really ran down the right-hand side, looking for a ball in the box, head up, not a single soul anywhere near the box. And you just thought, we're at home, guys. Come on, let's attack. So for that, it was disappointing. It really was. And Tottenham mentioned Brighton will have us for breakfast. I think we'll be different against Brighton. I really do. I think the way we got to look at it, and again, I'll ask you the question, guys. Are we better away from home? Do you think we're going to be a better side away from home this season? Because the 3 home games we played, obviously Burnley we won 3-0. Most teams are going to beat Burnley at home, right? They're pretty poor. They're probably going down. Bournemouth, we were woeful, absolutely woeful. And then last night, another poor home performance. Whereas away from home, we've looked good, we've looked solid, you know, and I actually think maybe we're going to be better away from home this season. Don't know what you guys feel, and I think we'll be okay. I think we'll beat Brighton at the weekend. I really do. Sheriff saying availability is your best ability, and neither are there often enough. I agree. I mean, we're counting down the days, aren't we, till Richarlison's injured? Not that you'd wish an injury on anyone, but maybe this one. Maybe this one. I might for a couple of weeks. Let's get Mawani in and see what he can do at the weekend. David Clark saying Simmons reminds me of that dud we got from Everton, but it's early days. I need to see him in the number 10 role. Oh, that is a bit harsh, David. I thought, again, he was one of our brighter players yesterday until he got his second yellow, and then he kind of disappeared out of the game. Sorry, until he should have got the second yellow, then he disappeared out of the game. Yeah, I thought we did okay first half. Second half, quiet. But like I say, yeah, he's definitely not a left winger. He definitely needs to come in and play in that role. And who's that dud from Everton? Wasn't Stephen Pienaar, was it? Again, really good player for Everton, was rubbish for Spurs. And David Clark said, I thought Porro put in his best crosses tonight compared to the rest of the season. I thought, yeah, when Porro gets in that crossing area, doesn't even need to look up, does he? Just puts those balls in. But we haven't got a striker to finish them. We haven't got a striker. If we had a Harry Kane in there now, we'd be absolutely fine. And Dino saying, I know it's controversial, but I also think James Maddison could go in either January or at the end of the season. Yeah, I kind of agree with you there, mate. I do. I kind of agree. I think it's going to be whether he's ever going to come back the same player. I don't know. If he does, I think he will be sold because he's just another one who's always constantly injured. I love Maddison. I love Maddison, one of my favourite players, but we cannot have players that are constantly injured in the squad. So Maddison, Richarlison, Solanke, players like this need to be moved on, and we need to get players in that stay fit. Um, but we will see. Lord Rodney said, I said it was a key decision Frank had to make, and you have to say he got it right on Porro. Yep, agreed. Agreed. Dave Clark saying, Romero, again, not a bad performance, but sorry, those straight balls along the floor just put us in so much trouble. It's one of them, isn't it? You, I agree to an extent, but he's trying to make things happen. You know, he's trying to get the balls into midfield for midfielders. We just need stronger midfielders who are going to show for it. There was a couple of balls and they looked awful at the time. But if you watch them again, the midfielders hide. For me, they hide. They don't show for it. And, certainly the passes have got to be better from Romero. But if they work, we're on the transition. We're in the attack. So it's one of them. It's a difficult one. But I'm kind of 50-50 with you there, mate. The Big D, big up, mate, said, good morning, Nige. Saar was bad last night. But has been great recently. Solanke or Moana will hopefully do better when fit. Yep, hopefully. Solanke, I don't know when he's back. Moana, disappointing performance when he come on, but what was he supposed to do? Chasing shadows. So yeah, it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. Lord Rodney said, Dino, I'm glad you said it. And Jimmy's in. Big up, Jimmy. Says, big up, Nige. And chat, good morning to you. I hope you're well. And Lord Rodney said, someone had to address that elephant. It is. And I'm guessing most of us think deep down that Maddison will probably be sold. If and when he gets back fit. But I'm guessing, we can't sell an injured player at the moment. So it's one of them. We will have to wait and see on that one. David Clark saying Spurs hasn't got Maddison or anyone as good as him in the squad. Well, I think Xavi will be that player for us as and when he moves into that 10 position. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward with Spurs, who we sign in January, because there is no doubt that left-hand side is a massive, massive problem. If we didn't know it before, I think certainly last night showed it. We had nothing coming off the bench to go on that left-hand side. Xavi Simons is wasted out now. I think if we want the best out of him, he has to move into the 10, get more involved in the game. It's a concern. It's a concern, but we can only go with what we go with at the moment. And what we have is what we have. Jimmy says only Bentancur and Kudus can come off that field of any credit last night. We got very lucky. Yeah, I thought Bentancur did okay as well. Kudus worked hard, tried to make things happen. But again, it's hard to make things happen when you have Richarlison as your focal point. It must be very frustrating. I actually thought Van der Ven did okay. Yes, lucky not to get sent off. But I thought defensively he was pretty solid. Yeah, I'd say that's probably about it. That's probably about it. Andrew saying, will we go back for Savinho in January? Might be easier now. Levy's gone. I think possibly, mate. I think possibly, but it all depends on. I think it all depends on how we. I think it all depends on whether he plays a lot for City, doesn't it? Sorry, I was getting a text then about work, and I lost my concentration. I think it all depends whether he plays a lot for City over the next couple of weeks. So we will see next couple of weeks, next couple of months. We will see. Jimmy saying Simmons must play as a 10. Going forward, we can't keep shoehorning players into the wrong positions. Absolutely 100%. It's a real concern. We do it a lot, don't we? We shoehorn players in. And yeah, it is what it is. Good morning, son. Said good morning, everyone. Good morning, mate. I hope you are. As you can see, the shirts are here. So, you know, I'm going to work at 10 o'clock, mate. So if you want to get round here before 10, you can pick up your shirt, mate. Obviously, I'll be streaming till 9:30. But yeah, do your thing, mate. Paul G saying, morning, Nigel and chat. Good morning to you, mate. Come on, you Spurs. Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, guys, we won the game. That's the most important thing. 3 points is 3 points. We can critique, we can moan about the performance. I can't speak this morning. We can critique the performance. But at the end of the day, 3 points is 3 points. David saying, when we play against a better Champions League side, Sarr and Bergvall just won't be enough to make chances. No, probably not. Probably not, Dave. I'm not gonna argue with that. But what we got to remember is a lot of these players, it is their first outing in the Champions League. They will get better. They will get better. And luckily for us, we've got a pretty good run in the Champions League of sides that we should be able to beat. We should be able to beat. Doesn't mean we will. But yeah, and hopefully get to knockouts. And by the time we get to knockouts, hopefully we'll have a couple more players in the squad that bulks us out a little bit more that we can go into knockouts with. But I'm kind of with you. I think better sides, we will struggle, definitely. Lord Rodney said, I think the idea would be to sell Maddison to get Wharton type. Quite possibly, yeah, quite possibly. Or like a Morgan Gibbs White type. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what we do going forward. If this is true that they're looking to buy Levy out, then it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Lord Rodney said it's not just to sell Maddison for the sake of it. Yeah, I mean, no point in selling if we've not got players in to replace him. The Big D said 13 likes. Smash them like, guys. Yeah, come on, guys. It is a slow morning this morning. A very slow morning. I was hoping it'd be a bit busier, but it is what it is. But smash those likes, guys. Likes are absolutely free. And yeah, if you could, that would be much appreciated because apparently it pushes me out to the algorithm. And we picked up 1 sub today, which is always nice. So thank you to the 1 person who has subbed. And Jimmy said, inconsistency is going to be how we are this season without enough quality players in the squad. And I think that's the way it is. I think we're going to play games, we're going to win games, and we're going to be like, that was a really good performance. I don't think we're ever going to blow teams away with swashbuckling football. I think that's gone for the time being while we're building this squad. But we are going to get games when we play a really good game, defend well, attack well, are clinical, and we'll be like, what a good performance. And we're going to get games like last night where it just doesn't click for whatever reason. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Like I say, the build up and the excitement to it was so much last night. I was so excited to see Spurs back in the Champions League that it did leave us a little bit flat at the end, didn't it? But as I said, 3 points. It's all that matters. The Wolf said another clean sheet, keep winning against Brighton, and I'll be impressed. And this is what we got to remember. As bad as we were against Bournemouth, and it was only 1-0, could have been 5. We have kept 4 clean sheets out of 5 games, which is pretty spectacular for a Spurs side that conceded goals for fun last season. Pretty good. 4 clean sheets out of 5. I'm impressed with that. I'm impressed. I'm happy. I think it's been a good start to the season for Tottenham. Ed M saying, I wouldn't sell Maddison even if he's just coming back on for 20 minutes when he's back from injury. Having someone who can unlock a defence is worth keeping. Absolutely. Good point. Good point. It just depends whether Maddison's going to want to play as a bench player. Listen, Maddison may come back better and stronger than ever before. I think we're all assuming that because he's had this serious injury, he's going to come back and not be the same player. He might be better. He might be better. And then we keep him, of course. Absolutely. Philly saying, big up Nige and the chat. I didn't watch the game, to be fair. Can't stand watching the pigeon and people wondering why he can't score or hold the ball up. Yeah, he was poor, mate. He was poor. You didn't miss a lot. He was poor. I'd watch if you were going to watch it. I'd watch the highlights. I'd maybe watch the first. If there's 10-minute highlights, watch the first minute and then turn the rest off. Because I can't remember us having any chances. I actually cannot remember us having any chance. Even the goal we scored wasn't a chance; it was just a cross. I remember Simmons shot in the first couple of minutes, which was close. I can remember another Simmons shot from just inside the box, which should have done better with. Other than that, a couple of crosses in, we did nothing. Nothing the whole game. And that is my main concern, guys, is that we just didn't create anything. I don't know how you guys feel. Creativity was so poor. So poor. Lord Rodney said, NM, you can't spend that sort of money on a backup player and he's still worth a few quid. We have 310s who wants to be in the first team. Possibly. I don't know whether Kulu's a 10 or not. You know, I think he's still, I don't know. Kulu's a bit of an enigma for me. Again, a fair player at times, he can be fantastic. Other times, very frustrating. So I'm not sure about Kulu. Not sure whether he fits into the 10 or whether he's still better out wide. I don't know. I really don't. Lord Rodney said maybe he'll be able to adapt and play deeper. One of him, Kulu or Simmons, will have to end up with Simmons' pace. It won't be him. I think Simmons is now down for the 10 now. For me, I think he's our number 10 going forward once we address that left-hand side. But I don't want to see him shoehorned on the left just because we got no one else. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see again what happens when Kulu's back. Maybe he could play on the left. I don't know. He's left-footed, isn't he? But left-footed, but plays on the right. It's a difficult one. Andrew said Madison always takes a long time to get back to his best after injury. He does, but again, let's see what happens. Ed Emson, he ain't on that much money. His worth is in his numbers. And Rodney saying he's on a fair few quid, mate. I mean, I wouldn't mind being on the kind of money that he's on, but that's just me. I guess we'd all take a footballer's wage, wouldn't we? At the time, guys, there are 30 in the house. It has been a quiet morning, but I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Smash that like button. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. I will be sending you over to the 2 Mark show, the Spurs breakfast brunch at 9:30. So yeah, don't go anywhere. Stay with us. Grab a cuppa, get some toast or some cereal, and if you're at work, chill out. Don't do too much for an hour or so. Just sit back and enjoy. And yeah, if you're not going to work today, enjoy not being at work. Like I said, the weather is absolutely woeful here in the West Country. So hopefully it is better where you are. The Wolf said, all I ever hear from the commentators when Kulu is playing is Kulu cuts inside. He is so predictable with the ball. He is. You kind of know what he's going to do, don't you? But he very rarely loses it when he's on form. The trouble is for me, he's just so inconsistent, like many Tottenham players. But you know, what can you do? Lord Rodney said, miserable weather here, Nige. Yep, is I think it's just going to be one of those days, isn't it, today? When the weather is shocking. So, guys, Champions League, we win the game, 3 points in the bag. We move on to our next game. You know, we look past everything. It's all about the points in the bag, isn't it? We move on now to Brighton at the weekend. Another massive game. We've started the Premier League season really well. Apart from that game against Bournemouth at home when we were woeful, you know, it's a real shame, isn't it? If we could have even got a point in that game and been unbeaten going into the Brighton game. But we are playing well, unbeaten away from home, you know, haven't conceded a goal away from home. Got to be confident, haven't we? We've got to be confident going to Brighton. I know they did the double over us last season, but I think we were talking about Brighton last night. I think out of their 4 games, I think they've won 1, drew 1, lost 2. So they've hardly started well themselves. It's been a patchy start for Brighton. And I think Brighton are one of those sides when they're either really good and they can win games against the bigger sides, or they just don't turn up. So it's going to be interesting to see what Brighton turn up. It's going to be interesting to see how Spurs play against Brighton. I think it's good. There's no doubt it's a tough game. But I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be okay against Brighton. Guys, let me know what you're thinking. And yeah, Philly saying, I'm not surprised Spurs didn't create anything when the main conductor and chief is creative department, Xavi Simons, is wasted out on the left instead of in the middle to organise a play. I totally and utterly agree with you. 100% Philly. He needs to be in that number 10 role. We have absolutely wasted him out on the left hand side. I think it's one of those, isn't it? Needs must at the moment. We haven't got anyone else that Frank clearly trusts on the left. Our other only option really is Johnson, and clearly he doesn't rate Johnson enough, and clearly he doesn't rate Odebel. So I think we're stuck with Xavi on the left for the time being. I really do, unless Colin Moani can play out there. But again, that's another square peg in a round hole. It is disappointing we didn't get that left-sided player. It really is. We could be a totally different side attacking-wise now. Ghosted saying, big up, Nige. Big up to you, Ghosted. I hope you're well. Not a great performance last night, but 4 wins in 5 games with 4 clean sheets. I can't really complain. Hopefully, when the team clicks, the performances become better. Absolutely bang on. As much as we're disappointed with the result last night, not the result, the performance last night. Do you know what? We've won 4 out of 5 games and 4 clean sheets. It's really difficult to have too much to complain about. I think we've got to be positive, and I think you bang on. When we start clicking, I think we're going to see a lot better football. So let's see what happens over the next couple of weeks. And we've got a nice little run of fixtures, haven't we? A nice little run of fixtures where we could go on and pick up some points. We could be like mid-October. I reckon we could be in the top 4. There's no reason why we can't be in this top 4 by mid-October, towards the end of October, with the fixtures we got in the Premier League, all winnable fixtures. Let's see how we do. It's going to be interesting. And as much as last night was disappointing performance-wise, we did get the win, which is all that matters. The Wolf said, I'm in Ireland and I think we sank 3 inches after the rain last night. Starting here again now. Oh man, yeah, it's been shocking. It's been shocking here, the weather. It's constantly raining. We've had high winds overnight. Yeah, it is. It's terrible weather at the moment. But guys, if you're out and about in it, stay safe. And yeah, stay safe. Guys, thank you for the 3 subscribers I've had today. I really do appreciate that. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to get when you go live. But so, yeah, I appreciate everyone for being here. I appreciate everyone who's subscribed. If you're new here, smash that like button. If you're old here, smash that like button. And also, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button as well. Philly saying, to be fair though, Nige, even Xavi Simons did play in the middle. I'm sure Pigeon would have wasted the opportunity. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't matter who we got creating the chances. If we haven't got top class strikers up front, we're still not going to score. We're still not going to win games. But you'd hope we'd have just about enough to at the moment. I think you're right. We really need that top class striker. We really do. Paul Clark's here. Big up, Paul. He says, hi, Nige. Hope you're well. I am very well, mate. I hope you are too. Well, about Richie on the left, Moani in the what about Richie on the left, Moani in the middle, and Xavi just behind again? I wouldn't be against that. I wouldn't be against that at all. I think, everyone says about Richarlison, he works hard. Well, okay, work hard on the left. Work hard on the left. And that's when I would be looking at possibly playing an Udogie left back, just because then it's just more comfortable overlapping. Richarlison's not your player who's going to take players on and beat them, is he? But if he can hold up the ball and then we've got a full-back overlapping, I think maybe that's when Udogie comes in. But I definitely wouldn't be against that, Paul. I really wouldn't. But it just shows how short we are on the left that we're thinking about playing Richie out there, doesn't it? But big up, mate. Jimmy said, our recent record against Brighton is very poor. We got a tough game Saturday. Would take a draw now. Yeah, I agree. We are poor against Brighton. Recently, they did the double over us last season, didn't they? 3-2, obviously being 2-0 up at their place at half-time. And I think that's when I went to Anjay. That was the moment, 2-0 up at half-time and absolutely capitulating in the second half. And then, of course, we lost 4-1 at home. But we were all drunk after the Europa League win. So, I don't know. I think actually if you look at our record at Brighton over the years, it hasn't been too bad. Obviously, last season was very disappointing, but usually we do pretty well there. Obviously, we've had Kane in the past to score the winner, so we've not got him now. It's going to be a tough game. I agree. I would probably take a point right now, to be fair. But let's hope we go down and win. Let's hope we go down and win. Ed M saying for away games in Champions League, we might be better off playing Kudus and Colo up front with a back three. Yeah, I wouldn't be against that either. I think Kudus, absolute monster at holding the ball up. Wins free kicks. I wouldn't be against playing Kudus up front with another striker. That's not a bad shout. And then we can play Xavi in that hole, can't we? And just play a very defensive line otherwise. But big up, Peter. Thank you so much for the super chat, mate. You didn't need to do that, but I really do appreciate it. Saying hi all, 6:13 p.m. Melbourne. We got away with it. Come on, you Spurs. We absolutely did, mate. But you know what? A win's a win. We got the points, and at the end of the day, that is all that matters. But big up to you. I do really appreciate every single super chat, every single super sticker I get in, every single membership. I appreciate you all. I really do. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Billy saying there's a reason Spurs wouldn't be in the top four, and that's because Spurs have the pigeon lead in the line. If this isn't Trafalgar Square, that pigeon is useless. Quite possibly, yeah, quite possibly. But listen, for the fact that we've got crap up front, we've still scored what 8 goals? 8 goals this season, is it? 3 against Burnley, 2 against City, 3 against West Ham, and of course last night. So it's 9. We scored 9. Um, yeah, 9 goals in 5 games. Only conceded 1. It's not bad, is it? It's not bad, but we definitely need better up front, mate. 100%. And Lord Rodney's sort of laughing at Philly. And Jimmy saying, evening, Peter Cobber. Good evening. Yeah, good evening to you, Peter. Take care at work. Have a good one, mate. Do what you do. Big thanks to you. And Lee Payne is in the house saying, may the force be with you. And may the force be with you too, my friend. May the force be with you too. And thank you to another subscriber who subscribed. So 4 subs today. That's fantastic for a morning show. So really appreciate all the subs and everyone that's in here. Smash a like if you haven't already. Jimmy saying, question, when do you think Kinski gets a game? I think Doncaster next Wednesday. I think you will see Kinski in goal. And I like Kinski, I quite like him. I think he's very calming in the box. Comes and claims crosses, good with his feet. He's just not as good a shot stopper as he sadly as Vicario, but he is still a young keeper. He's going to make mistakes. So I don't mind. I don't mind Kinski, actually. I wouldn't be against him playing in the Premier League. I don't know what you guys feel about Kinski. Like I say, he does make the odd mistake. He does let the odd goal in. You think, oh, we should have saved that. But he's only going to get better. And he's a big lad. He's a big lad. I think he's a lot more calming to me than Vicario. Every time Vicario gets a ball, I panic. I really do. Um, Lee Payne saying, can we call the problem now? January window, left winger and striker, 100%. 100%. I think we're short in so many areas still. We've still got a lot to do. Striker, 100%. Left winger. Midfielder. I still think we're a midfielder short. Um, Definitely another defender, another fullback, whether that be left or right. And going forward, for me, another keeper. Um, but yeah, I agree. Lord Rodney saying, oh, Jesus. And then following it up, saying, not my cup of tea, Nige. I've taken it. We're talking about Kinski. Yeah. I don't do a ball playing goalkeeper unless they are truly exceptional. It's weird, isn't it? Because, yeah, listen, I agree. I grew up in the area, in the era of like the Clemences and the keepers like that when they didn't have to be good with their feet because when you pass it back to them, they could pick it up. But sadly, now the way the game has gone, you do kind of need to be good with your feet. It's very rare that you've got keepers that are good with their feet and an amazing shot stopper. If they're that, they're the best keepers in the world. So, yeah, difficult one, difficult one. Depends what you want, doesn't it? Whether you want a keeper that can save and save everything that's hit at him pretty much, or a keeper that's good with his feet. It'd be nice to have a bit of a mixture of the two. I would just like Vicario to come out and catch the ball a few times. He did last night once. To be fair to him, he did last night once. But yeah, yeah, I'm not sure. Just still not totally 100% on Vicario yet. Jimmy saying, so you think he'll only play the minor role this season, Nigel, other than injuries? I do. Sadly, I think Kinski plays in the League Cup. I think he will play the whole League Cup. I think it's going to be one of them where Kinski is a League Cup goalkeeper. He may be the FA Cup goalkeeper as well. I don't see him getting too much game time otherwise, personally. Don't know what you guys in the chat think. I think Kinski is our cup keeper. Vicario will be Champions League and League. Marianne's in the house side saying, good morning, Nigel, all in the chat. Good morning to you, Marianne. I hope you're well. And Peter says, hi, Jimmy. On the way to work, mate. No rest for the wicked. Well, take care out there, buddy. And Amin saying, many top teams struggle in the Champions League last night. Real Madrid, with their mega Star Wars, lucky to win. We won 3 points on the board. Next game must improve on the offensive side. And I think that's the way we got to look at it, Amin, isn't it? You're bang on. Absolutely bang on. So many teams struggled last night. Didn't Juve get... no, they drew in the end, didn't they? I know they were 4-2 down to Dortmund. Ended up being 4-4, is that right? Benfica, didn't they lose? I know they were 3-2 down. You know, there were some shocks last night, and I think there will be tonight as well. I just love being part of it again. And at the end of the day, we played poorly, we got the win. And I think if we can play poorly and win in the Champions League, maybe that's a sign of a good team. Maybe that's a sign of a good team. Lord Rodney saying, Man City have just signed Donnarumma. Liverpool signed, I'm not going to say his name because I'll butcher it. Unless you're Edison Allison, for the older gentleman here, you might remember Rodrigo Senna. I don't actually, but yeah, it's hard to disagree. You know, I guess it just depends what you want, doesn't it? I just feel safer when there's a keeper that's, I know the ball's going to go back to him and I know he's not going to balls it up. And to be fair, Vicario doesn't usually. He just gets me on edge, a bit like Luis used to. But Luis, another one, fantastic goalkeeper, not the best with his feet. Jimmy saying, what happens with Basuma now? He's staying. I just think Basuma's going to be frozen out, to be honest, mate. I really do. I don't think we'll see him. We may see him against Doncaster. Again, League Cup games. Other than that, I don't see him playing a lot. And I think he may be gone in January. Lord Roddy saying, unless short of that ridiculous outstanding quality, I think is a waste of time personally. Fair enough, buddy. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it depends what you want. Ed M saying some cracking goals in the Juventus game. Didn't Vlahovic get a couple of goals? A player that I would have loved at Spurs. He'd probably absolutely smash it now. And then sign a new contract, and we'd never get him. But yeah, I would love a Vlahovic at Tottenham. Lee Payne saying it was great to see Frank and his staff taking notes and trying strategic change with what we had on the bench. We would have lost that game under Ange. Difficult one, isn't it? I think we probably would have, but we can't say it for sure. Yeah, I just love the way Frank works, you know. I love the way he works. He's honest. When we've been poor, he'll come out and say we've been poor, it's on me. And he takes responsibility, and that's what I like. That's what I like. Milton's here. Big up, Milton. I hope you're well, mate. Not seen you in a while. Hope all is good. And he just says hi. Hi to you too. And Philly says Spurs have to learn from this victory and where they need to improve. For me personally, if Spurs play 3 at the back and play the doggy as wing back, it would allow Xavi Simons to be the 10. Agreed. I would not be against playing 3 at the back at all. I think it would be a good move for Spurs. I think it'd make us defensively more sound. Yeah, I wouldn't be against it. Guys, nearly 50 in the house now. It's starting to get busy, which I like. Smash that like button if you haven't. Hit that subscribe if you haven't as well. Let's try and get me up to 1,230. That would be fantastic. I'm about 3 away right now. Lord Roddy saying, I want my defenders switched on. Being on edge is not a bad thing. True. Very true. Jimmy said Moani looked very rusty last night. It's going to take him a bit of time before he's up to speed. And I think, yeah, you're absolutely bang on. It's going to take him a bit of a time. And let's be honest, his first game for Spurs, he comes on off the bench with what, quarter of an hour, 20 minutes to go, and we are defending for our lives. And all he's getting is scraps to feed off. You know, the ball being smashed up front, and he's been told to chase it. And difficult. And he got booked. Did you see the booking last? That was never a booking in a million years. He didn't do anything. Yeah, like I say, the referee last night for me had an absolute shocker. Um, but I think that's what we're going to have to deal with in the Champions League, isn't it? The rules for Champions League is different to the Premier League. Like I said, there were a couple of things that you thought, oh, he's in trouble here, or that's a penalty, not given. I think there was a handball at one point as well. Again, it wasn't a handball, um, and it wasn't given, but in the Premier League, it might have been given. So yeah, it was just not keen on that referee at all last night. I don't think he let the game flow at all, at all. But yeah, it is what it is, guys. I'm going to go for another 5 minutes, and then I'm going to send you over to the breakfast brunch with the 2 marks or the 1 mark today. Have a great holiday, Cookie. If you're watching, have a great holiday, mate. I really do appreciate everything you do for me. And yeah, take care. Have some sangria and enjoy yourself. Nicola saying Ange kept 8 clean sheets in all competitions last season, and Tottenham have already had 4, and the season has just begun. It shows what a good manager can do when you're organised. Agree. I agree 100%. And Jimmy saying referee was poor, but Xavi could have been sent off. Could have and should have, mate. Should have. And this is what I thought the referee was poor last night. I thought he he was quick to get his book out, but he was very slow to make the big decisions he didn't want to make. You know, the penalty in the first half, which I know a lot of people saying they don't think it was a penalty. I actually think the defender, I thought Richarlison was clever to get his leg in the way of the defender. I thought the defender kicked through him. Thought that could have easily been given. Big decision, didn't make it. Absolutely no doubt. I think Xavi Simons should have got sent off, bottled it. I think on another day, Van der Ven could have got sent off, bottled it. I think obviously the touch from Mikatasi took it away from goal, maybe saved him a little bit. But I absolutely think that, yeah, I think the referee was really poor last night. Really poor. But it is what it is. We won the game. 3 points in the bag. Xavi wasn't sent off, which is a good thing. Means he's available for the next Champions League game. And we move on. We move on. 3 points is 3 points. We now go to Brighton on Saturday, knowing that if we can get a win now, we really are in amongst it after the first 5 games. I think a lot of people are still waiting to get on to Frank's back, I feel. There's a lot of tension, and I think Levy's gone. Obviously, that's relieved a lot of tension, but I still think there are fans out there waiting to get on to Frank's back. But if he can just keep pulling out the wins, regardless of how we're playing at the moment, I think the fans are going to be happy. And I think it was said earlier in the chat, once Spurs start clicking, you know, we are going to start winning games easier, and we're going to start looking a lot better. The fact that we're winning games now and we're playing poorly a lot of the time can only be a good thing, right? Can only be a good thing. Frank is renowned for starting slow at clubs and getting, you know, it takes him a while to get his points across. The fact that we're winning games early doors is only a good thing for me. Lord Rodney saying UEFA Champions League games are refereed differently. I agree they are. They are definitely refereed differently. Different kind of rules in the Champions League to the Premier League, and we have to be aware of that, I guess. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. I am going to send you over to the breakfast brunch with the 2 marks. Have a great day, guys. Thank you again for each and every one of you for being in the chat, for keeping me going this morning. I really do appreciate it. Let's just read Lee's comment out. Xavi looks surprised with the lack of movement in front of him. He needs to get. We need to get Xavi and Kudus and Kolo to link up more. Other than Polini, we don't have any class midfielders. I agree. I agree. Hard to disagree with you there, mate. It was a difficult game for those forward players. Kudus the same. Didn't have anything really to work off. But like I say, we won the game. Guys, I'm going to send you over to the 2 marks. Have a great day. And yeah, I will see you on the next stream. Probably be back Friday, I think. Have a great day. And as always, stay positive, stay poised, and stay Pure Coys.